So, this is a video I think a lot of people are going to think is long overdue since they've been asking me about it for a while, and I haven't been giving a reason why. And even this video is still, honestly, not going to be a complete explanation as to why, but it's definitely going to explain a lot more than I've explained in the past, and most importantly, it's probably also going to explain why I haven't wanted to explain it publicly. So, we're going to be talking today about why I have not been uploading videos really that much, if at all, for the past couple of years. Um, and there's not a single reason per se, not one reason, but there is a few very large reasons on why. And also all of the reasons, both that I am going to talk about and also that I'm not going to talk about, are all related. And I think you're gonna understand this considerably more here in just a little bit if you continue watching. But let's just start with this. I think that I am probably one of the last YouTubers that started a channel with no expectation that it would become a career. Like not like, oh, there's a possibility of it becoming a career, but I know that it's not going to be possible because there's so many people trying it. Not that. As in, when I started this YouTube channel, the idea that you could even make money doing this or that you could get a huge fan base from playing video games was so insanely alien that it wasn't even on my mind. It wasn't even the reasons that I started the channel. It wasn't even a goal. Um, Quite simply, the reason I actually started my channel was because I didn't have enough people to play the video games with me that I wanted to play because they were so niche and undiscovered that I would log on and there would just be nobody all the time. Games like Project Reality, games like DCS, and stuff like that. Like, the only way I could get people to join with me is if I made videos showing how much fun it was and was like, yo, friend me and join my community so when I play, my experience isn't going to be garbage. That was literally the reason I started uploading videos. Um, and over the years, it just snowballed into this insane thing, which at first was cool and unexpected, and you're like, wow, this is interesting and so cool, and then it stopped being cool, and it started to become really problematic, and not problematic in like, oh yeah, I'm making so much money that I now have like rich people problems and stuff like that. In fact, I don't think you make nearly as much money on YouTube as people think you do. But as in problems of, I started having people stalking me, I started having people stalking my family, I started having people harassing my family, even not just viewers, but it got to the point where I couldn't even release a video talking about my opinion of a game without the developers of that game then looking into my life, my career, who else I'm talking to, what I'm doing, and in ways that are not just like frustrating, but are genuinely creepy. Genuinely creepy. Um, so there's a lot of examples that I could show, but the one that just kind of like cuts straight to the point fast enough, is this screenshot right here. So I used to Google myself all the time just to get to Social Blade because it's easier to Google myself to get to Social Blade than it is to literally type that into the URL. And this was like at the height of my career. I took this screenshot like a few years ago. And I started to notice that search terms for my wife started climbing up the search results, like the popular search results about me, to the point where it was actually the first thing. So every time, and keep in mind, like, this is not like a recommended, like something I've searched in the past and it's recommending it to me again. That's in blue. That's the blue thing. All the stuff in black is stuff other people have searched, ordered by popularity, how often it's searched for. And people started going out of their way looking up other members of my family, especially my immediate family, like my wife and my son, etc. And one of the reasons this happened, because I can tell you the reason this happened, because it's not like this stuff happens and you're like, oh, that's creepy. I wonder what's the cause of that. It was very obvious what the cause was. Because what was happening was people would go to my wife's Facebook profile and they would post on her Facebook pictures either threats or insults every time they got banned from my Project Reality server or from our squad server. So you'd have people that get banned from these servers, and the first thing they do is they try to figure out who your relatives are so they can personally harass them. It's gotten to the point where I've received death threats about my son. I have received threats to my band members, because for those of you who don't know, like, I'm a musician before all of it, and still am, and we would play shows, and we would have people that would threaten to, like, come to the shows and, like, assault us, especially after the whole Christina Grimmie thing. I don't know if you remember that, where she got shot at a show. So we had people that started threatening to do that. We've had people threaten, obviously my wife and myself. We've had even people try to figure out who my coworkers are. So, like, if I have a job outside of YouTube, they try to figure out who I'm working for, who my coworkers are, so they can try to harass that organization. All because of YouTube. Now, I want to break this down a little further, because the impression you're probably getting now is that, like, I hate doing YouTube and I hate everybody on YouTube. And it would be way easier for me if that were the case. But I actually have a pretty sizable community of people who are not crazy and who are enjoyable to be around, and they don't stalk my family, and I don't stalk their family, and we just have a good relationship. And I wish it were possible for me to upload a video only to those people. I was looking at statistics months ago, and the money that a YouTuber makes versus, say, like a pop star, and I'm not talking like a pop star like, like somebody that makes billions and billions of views. I'm saying, like, if a pop star makes 1 million views versus if a YouTuber makes 1 million views, the pop star's revenue for the same capita, like per capita, is so significantly higher that it's ridiculous. And I know that sounds kind of weird. Like, I know that sounds like a random weird thing to bring it up, but let me just say this: like, if you're getting like 2 to 3 million views, if you're getting even 1 million views a month, and you're living on what is basically minimum wage. I don't know if you guys know that, but minimum wage, like, if you're in California, in order to make minimum wage on YouTube is like 1 to 2 million views a month. If you're getting that and living on minimum wage versus a pop star who would get like the same, like 1 to 2 million views, they make like almost 5 to 10 times as much as you do, which means you're getting the same problems as like an actual celebrity, but you're living on minimum wage. So you're getting all of the crazy stalkers and all of the celebrity-sized problems, but you don't have the funds to even like protect yourself. Like you don't have the money to pour into like CCTV systems or security. You're not Justin Bieber. You can't hire a bodyguard. You can't do anything. And I think that's a huge misconception about YouTube. You have people now that are getting insane amounts of viewership, but not really making that much. And some of them think they're making a lot. Some of them think that they're like, they've won the lottery. And they are like, oh my God, I've made $3,000 off of 2 million views. And like, that's a lot of viewers for that little. And a lot of those viewers are not good people.
So I know there's still a lot of questions about, where I've been, what I've been up to over the past couple of years. And I still obviously post videos on my channel every so often that show that there are things that I'm working on and there are things that are happening, really interesting things that I would love to talk about. And about 2.5 years ago, I was offered a position at an organization about the same time that I stopped uploading as much content on YouTube because I was offered that position. That just, it was such a huge opportunity that there was no way I was not going to accept it. And about 6 months ago, I got offered another position at another company that, quite frankly, just makes everything else that I've ever done just look ridiculous in comparison. It just, the work I've been able to do for the past couple of years is just so surreal, and so incredible, and makes all of my other achievements just look laughable in comparison. But the irony of all this is the last thing I want to do is talk about it. This is the last thing I want to do. I don't want to talk about it. In fact, I'm kind of on the fence even talking about it in vague terms publicly. And there's so many other things. Obviously, there's the companies and organizations that I work for, that I contract for, and then I still have my own company, and we still work on our own projects in my spare time, like Warfare 1944, Iron Armada, and the UE4 project. And I would love to make more videos about those, talking about, the state that they're in, what's being done, who we're working with. But those are all videos that, for reasons mentioned prior, I don't feel as comfortable making and releasing publicly. In fact, for those of you who watch my channel or watch my channel regularly in the past, you'll have noticed that I used to have around 3,000 videos on this channel, and I have unlisted roughly 2,000 of those. Primarily videos of a personal nature or vlogs, talking about personal opinions or other potential things that could allude details to my career or my personal life, or my family, or otherwise. And I have not felt comfortable having those videos public anymore. So let me break this down and say that I do not want to be famous. And I think there's a big difference between being successful and even having a large community and being famous, even on a small scale. And my entire life, my entire career has shifted from wanting to reach as many people as possible to wanting to reach the right people. And I miss having control of my privacy. I miss having control of my content. I miss having control of my community, to the point where I have gone incredibly far out of my way
to desperately find other ways that I can still build my community off platform, and have that kind of control over who can watch my content. That's why I went so far out of my way to build my video site on my own website, to build notification systems outside of YouTube so I can notify the kinds of people who I know are positively interested in my content and are not just trying to watch my content because they want to maliciously figure out details of my life. And here's one last thing that I'd like to say, that I could make an entire video about. I could make an entire video about many elements of this, the psychology of viewers, the social, economic instances that potentially exacerbate certain problems. It's fascinating, yet it's also disturbing in some situations. And I will tell you this. I will leave you with this. I have been a YouTuber for many years before this. It was a full-time career for many, many years. And I work with many other influencers over the years who all worked together with me to naturally understand how YouTube functions, how the algorithm functions, how to create content, how to tag content, and how to build content that YouTube's algorithm and YouTube's platform would naturally push. And both myself and many others learned a significant amount about the platform just with trial and error and all of the data from our analytics that we would compare. And we saw how different behavior and how different viewer behavior would influence not just how the algorithm perpetuated the content of that creator, but also how the algorithm perpetuated content for the viewer and the kind of content that that viewer would see based on their activity. And I would just like to say this. I think YouTube has gotten to a point where their algorithm and their platform is driving content to a certain set of criteria that they have lost all care about the potential consequences of their actions. And let me explain that, because I know that sounds vague, but let me explain it by saying this. Right now, the algorithm, based on your viewership, will suggest to you certain kinds of videos with one goal in mind. It wants to keep you on this platform for as long as humanly possible. It wants you to watch as much content and click on as many videos as it possibly can, and it doesn't care why or how at all. So, for instance, you'll have a viewer that potentially every single time they see a certain creator's content, or they see a certain kind of thumbnail, or they see a certain kind of topic, they will click on that instantly. That's the click-through rate. If that's high, then the algorithm looks at that and it says, this has a high click-through rate. This video is catchy, it must be popular. Now, it doesn't say, oh, the reason this person is clicking on this video is because this person hates that person, or because this person disagrees with this kind of content, or because this person is stalking this person. If somebody goes to a video and they watch all of that video, the algorithm says, oh, this is successful, I'm going to show this person more content. It doesn't say, oh, this person is watching all of this video because this person is unhealthily obsessed with this individual. Or even in a couple of instances where this person despises this individual and needs to probably get a break from this person because it's becoming dangerous. But just like, on Facebook, when you see a photo of your ex-girlfriend, you can't help but click on it. This algorithm notices that and actually exacerbates that situation, because it knows that if it shows that kind of content to that viewer will stay on the platform for longer. even if it is for unhealthy or potentially even dangerous reasons. And I know this is hard to believe, and I hope that there's a couple of influencers out there who can back me up on this, because YouTube also doesn't make any of their data publicly available. So the vast majority of people who even have data or enough analytics to look into this are creators who can look at what has happened. But I have noticed, and this has gotten worse and worse as time has gone on, and as the algorithm has become the primary driving factor of traffic on this platform, instead of like manual subscription feeds and the user choosing what kind of content they want to watch. But I have noticed that if there is a form of content that I create that maybe isn't controversial in my circle of viewers, but if there is other people out there that the algorithm knows would get upset by that kind of video or that kind of topic, it will go out of its way to show that content to that individual, because it knows that it can elicit a response of high watch time, of engagement, even if the engagement is "fuck you, you piece of shit, I want to kill your family," and also interacting with features on the platform like the dislike button or the share button to his friends, or going to another forum and saying, "Hey, this guy's a piece of shit. Everybody go look at his content," and harass him and potentially also his family members and everybody else. And I think that it has gotten so terrible that it is even exacerbating individuals and enabling individuals who potentially have anger management issues, who have mental health issues, who are watching content not because it's making their lives better, or not because they're even enjoying it, but because they can't fucking stop themselves. Because they can't. And it's creating actual problems for communities just because it creates more watch time. So at this point I'm going to try to turn this video around, because I don't want this to all be doom and gloom, and I'm sure everybody is asking, like, so what does this mean? Even though I don't want any of the things that I've brought up to be taken lightheartedly, I think they're serious issues that have not been addressed and are only getting significantly worse. But I know everyone still kind of wants to know what the consequences of this is going to be. Well, for the past couple of years, the consequences have obviously been I just don't upload as much. I have other ways of making a living. I'm sure many people want to know what those ways are, and I have no intention of disclosing that, and I don't want to. But I know a lot of people still enjoy the content that I used to create, the vlogs, the total rants, and I actually myself miss making content. I miss 5 years ago, back when the platform was completely different, and the only people that would watch my videos were the people that actually wanted to watch my videos. And it was much more friendly, and it made much more sense, and I enjoyed it significantly more. And nowadays, it's not that I dislike making content, it's just that I don't want to say that I don't feel safe making content, because it's not like I'm walking around all the time constantly fearing for my life. But I definitely don't like making content when I have no control over my content and over my community and over my channel in the way that I want to have control, in the way that I need to have control in order to create the kind of community that I think is a healthy community, and that I think actually improves people's lives and doesn't just generate the most amount of viewership that is humanly possible at any cost. Which, I could do that. That is entirely possible. I could immediately start making opinion videos on the World War III game, and talking about Battlefield 3, Project Reality, that I'm sure everybody has been asking me about, and talking about all of the other opinions that I have about all these other things. But as soon as I do that, I step right back in to all of those problems. Possibly I say something about one of those games that pisses off either the fan base or pisses off the developers themselves, and then the exact same thing starts happening. I start getting vilified, and then when I get vilified, people feel justified interfering with my life, and then of those people, there's a smaller portion who possibly even have significant mental health issues that feel encouraged by the surroundings and then are constantly triggered by the algorithm recommending all of my content that the algorithm knows is going to trigger them, and then before you know it, they're commenting on my son's pictures that they're going to hit him with a car when he goes on a walk outside, which did happen. And I don't want to do that. It's stupid, and it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't have any place in the gaming industry. And I have a lot of different avenues that I have been thinking about and I've been working on because I do still like making content. YouTube was supposed to give us a feature where only supporters could see our videos or see certain supporter-only videos, and we could actually control access to it so we could see who's watching those videos. I was going to make all of my total rants available there, so I could also so not only is it's not subjected to the algorithm at all, which is a huge plus, and then it's only available to people who I can see are watching it, which is great. That was supposed to come out 3 months ago, and then it's still not out because YouTube has not released it. And I can make a whole other video about how disappointed I am with YouTube, but again, that's not the kind of video I want to create for this. And I am currently live streaming a lot on Facebook, which I didn't really expect to take off as much as it did. I've been doing a couple of live streams on there playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm just kind of playing a casual game. And I've been getting a significant amount of viewers, which has actually been really great. And none of the people really know who I am, and they don't really care who I am. They just love Grand Theft Auto 5, and I'm just like, that's great, awesome. And I've also been working on a whole bunch of other things that are related to the gaming industry, some not related to the gaming industry at all, that have been really great. Some that I'd love to talk about, some that I don't want to talk about, some that I can't talk about. And I wish I had a solid answer. I was going to make this video and tell you all that, hey, I'm going to have a join button now and you guys can watch all of my private vlogs and stuff like that, but that didn't happen. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I've been waiting so long that I'm just kind of done waiting for people to fix their platform when it hasn't been fixed for years, and we just constantly get promises, and that's about it. But I just kind of wanted to let you all know what was up and kind of demystify the entire situation. Tell you guys that I still do love a good majority of you, even though there's a couple of insane people out there. And also say that, it's not that I've stopped uploading videos because I dislike YouTube or because I dislike my fan base. I do like my fan base. In fact, I saw this the other day. This guy posted something that hit home, and I was like, oh my fucking god, yes. Let's see, what was it? This guy posted, there's a good couple of fucktards like us that will always be loyal to you, sloth dick, no matter what you do. And I was like, fuck yeah. That's the kind of community that's the kind of community that we started. And that's the kind of community that I still want to create. Like, it's kind of funny, a bunch of people constantly give DRK shit and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're just a bunch of ridiculous immature autists." And like, fuck yeah, we are. I don't think people get that I'm like proud of it, but I feel like I don't have control to kind of build that kind of a community anymore and to like stoke that kind of mentality, because I'm just constantly having to deal with all of these other factors that I've now explained to you. So anyways, that's basically it. I was hoping to have a better answer. You guys know how I can just rant on and on and on. I was hoping that I could have a new platform or the join button or like private videos and stuff, and I actually do have something like that on Facebook now. Facebook just gave me basically the exact same thing that YouTube was supposed to get all of us like 3 months ago. but it's on Facebook, which isn't a problem. But it's just I'm not going to ask everybody on YouTube to just move over to Facebook and then constantly ask people to move from platform to platform. So it's like frustrating. Um, and I wish I could just say, hey, everybody, just go here and just watch all my total rants again. And everything's going to be the way it was. I wish I could say that. I wanted to say that, but I also don't want to keep you guys waiting indefinitely and just being like, what the fuck happened to Blue Drake? Um, will I ever start uploading regularly again? I actually think that if I ever do start uploading regularly again, here's my current plan. My current plan is if I ever start uploading vlogs or personal stuff ever again, it will be somewhere private. It will be somewhere private that people can get access to relatively easily. But I'm hoping that that's enough of a deterrent that the people who don't really want to watch it or want to watch it for malicious reasons won't access it or like go out of their way to access it. And even if they do, we'll be aware of it. So hopefully it won't be that big of a problem. But I don't really want to talk publicly about those kinds of things outside of my immediate fan base. If I ever do start posting public videos again regularly, it will likely be content that is just neutral and just very unoffending, which hilariously enough probably won't do as well on the platform since YouTube loves controversial content because it increases watch time. But it's gotten to the point that I don't like dealing with the environment that creates so much that I would rather not, and I would literally rather kill my channel than subject myself to that again. Um, I do have a lot of other things that I am currently either streaming to or working on other platforms, and there are a lot of other things like obviously video games that I am still creating, um, which I don't like talking publicly about for the same reasons as before. In fact, you guys don't know about this because I haven't decided to make a video about this publicly yet, because if I do, then it's going to create a massive shitstorm. But there are two other instances very similar to the postscriptum video that were as bad, if not worse, and would generate as much controversy, if not more, that happened in the past 2 years that also greatly impacted myself, my company, and my trust of people that I have not created videos on yet. And I'm not sure when or if I should, especially since I have literally no other option than to either publish it to the entire world or nobody at all, which is significantly frustrating. Um, but there are a lot of things that I would love to talk about that unfortunately I can't um, because of everything that I've talked about. And hopefully, uh, those of you that actually are a part of the community and are normal, non-crazy people understand that. But yeah, man, I haven't done one of these in a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap this video up because I don't want to get too much shit for Blue Drake making a 30+ minute rant video. And I know there's a good chunk of you that because I don't upload regularly anymore, you're going to not watch the channel anymore and unsubscribe. And that's totally fine. Because if anything, a lot of the problems that I've been frustrated with for the past many years were caused by having a lot of people who were watching the channel who probably shouldn't have been, which means that having less viewers and less followers is not necessarily a bad thing. For everyone else, I hope that this was an explanation that you are happy to have, that you've been hoping for, because I know I haven't really said anything for a long period of time. And the TLDR is basically, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, all right, well, what's the plan? What's going to happen? If I ever do total rants or vlogs ever again, they're going to be somewhere private. Where exactly are they going to be private? I'm not entirely sure of yet. We tried building our own website, which actually worked pretty well, but then YouTube sent us an email saying, oh, hey, we're going to be implementing basically the exact same features on your own platform and on your own channel. And they sent us that in like March, and it was supposed to be out in like August, and it hasn't been. and now there's no reasons as to why, and we were just basically waiting around for nothing, which is pretty typical of YouTube, but that's, again, not a video I want to make right now. If I ever start uploading public content again, because of the way the algorithm is set up, because of the way that the platform is set up, I'm probably only going to publicly upload pretty unoffending content. So possibly regular gameplay, maybe development blogs, but honestly, I might make the development blogs and everything like that also something that's only uh, internal and private as well, because there's a lot of other issues that occur of other developers watching those development blogs and trying to figure out what we're doing. Uh, there, there's, there's just so many malicious things that people can do on things that you'd think were normally just impossible to pervert into something malicious, like making a development blog, and then people find a way to make me regret making development blogs. It's just so ridiculous. And then I might still upload a couple of total rants or like public addresses or things that are so important or need to be said publicly that I will say publicly. Like for instance the postscriptum thing. But I'm hoping that if I follow this new plan of action, those kinds of situations will happen less and need to be addressed less, because I won't be saying things publicly and I'll be coordinating internally. So hopefully there won't be anybody who feels the need to go out of their way to do anything malicious that I even need to address publicly. But that is the plan. I would like to do total rants again. I would like to do opinion videos again, but I don't want to do them publicly. Um, I would like to do regular uploads again of content and stuff like that. But if I do, it's going to be unoffending. And I also kind of want to wait until I know exactly what the platform is kind of like and what the state of the industry is kind of like before I kind of step back into that. There's a couple of games that I've kind of enjoyed playing that are fairly innocuous, and don't have uh, those kinds of problems. So we'll have to see where that goes. And then besides that, if you guys want to continue sticking around, make sure you join my Discord. Feel free to send me a message on Discord, actually. Um, One of the biggest things that I have been focusing on is building an entire new community and company infrastructure. Just completely redoing everything. And I know that sounds kind of weird because maybe you guys didn't even know there was a structure for the old community. But I guess this is the kind of stuff that I don't talk about publicly because I don't want it to be uh, exploited by people who want to figure out exactly what our structure is and then exploiting it. But basically, we're setting up a completely new system that focuses on the balance between privacy and also public community. So now we have internal channels where we can develop our games, develop our projects, coordinate without having to worry about people figuring out who's working with us, harassing us, figuring out who we're talking to, what we're working on, etc. That's one of the reasons actually everybody who becomes a tester signs non-disclosure agreements now. We have a much better onboarding policy. We have about like 300 internal community members. About 100 of them are developers, 200 are testers and stuff like that, which is great. And then also balancing that with the public, having public events, public community stuff like what we've been doing on Facebook, where anybody can join, but anybody can join something that's kind of built for that. So it's not like you can stream snipe or like fuck with everybody or like destroy the experience by being malicious or stuff like that. In fact, it's actually kind of cool because the kinds of games we've been playing, if you do try to stream snipe, it actually only makes it better because it's cool, which is something that I've always kind of wanted, is to incorporate that aspect into the gameplay. But yeah. Okay, I'm done. Message me on Discord if you're actually interested. I know I'll probably get like a billion messages, but that's fine. If you want to stay in touch, if you want to come into our community development projects and stuff like that, send me a message. And then hopefully we'll coordinate from there. Okay. Cheers, guys. Talk to you later. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I didn't have the stupid
join button set up so I could just tell you that all the total rants are up again and you can just watch them immediately. But it's whatever. Okay. Talk to you guys soon. Cheers.